name is Ginsburg. I am an independent major here at Elon in Jewish Professional Studies, which is a combination of courses in religious studies and in business, mainly nonprofits and management. Throughout my life and growing up, I was very involved in Jewish organizations, in youth groups, in camps. And it was always something I loved and never really something I thought I was going to end up doing in college. And then to get started at Elon, I took the course in Jewish traditions and ended up falling in love with the academic study of religion and of Judaism, and found all of these different angles to it that I hadn't considered before. And kind of out of that sprang this idea for this major that would turn me into a professional working with the kind of youth groups and camps and everything I had grown up with, and I never looked back. Growing up Jewish, I kind of thought that when I started in Jewish traditions, it would be a pretty easy course for me and that I already had it all figured out, and that was pretty immediately not the case. And all of a sudden I was approaching these different forms of Jewish thought and philosophies I didn't even know existed, and wrestling with historical inaccuracies and problematic parts of my religion that had never really been addressed growing up in Sunday school, and in a classroom where I was surrounded with people who had similar backgrounds and who had more knowledge and who were learning about Judaism for the first time and hearing their opinions and their questions, which were things that I had never considered, and working with them and getting all of these different perspectives in a really interactive context that Elon provides. And it was all of a sudden this room to explore that I had never even considered that I would want to do, much less that I could do. So one of the courses that I took here at Elon is called Jewish-Christian Dialogue. It was a co-taught class, so I had two professors and we explored a very brief history of Jewish-Christian dialogue, highly focusing on dialogue around the Holocaust, but also going before and after that. And it was a very roundtable class, and I think that my class just had a particularly wonderful dynamic of everybody inputting their own experiences and information, and we had these phenomenal discussions every day. And I think that that course was the most dynamic thing I did in terms of becoming a better global citizen, and realizing how these two traditions interact both historically and actually seeing that come to life in front of me in the classroom. It was a class that I really looked forward to coming to every week, and that I still have readings from and that I find myself thinking about pretty much all the time, and I loved it. In spring of 2015, I spent my semester at the University of Haifa in Israel. I had previously been on a 2-week trip to Israel, and it was very much a tourist experience. And I came to study at Haifa thinking that, like, okay, this is Israel, I've been before, it's going to be a great time. And I was living with Israelis, and I was figuring out public transportation, and I was choosing my own schedule and what events to go to, and it was a really immersive, completely different view of Israel than the one I had before. And it was a really amazing place to explore Jewish studies and to explore some Middle Eastern politics in relation to academia and in relation to my own life, and kind of think about the parts that aren't so pretty and aren't so touristy, and to make friends there and ask them questions. And I was there with an international program of students from all over the world, all studying in Israel for a semester for varying reasons. So I got to learn from their experiences as well, and do a lot of traveling and see the country on my own as well. and I feel like it made me a better citizen of the world, and that it was a really important part of my experience in Jewish studies. It was a great time. So I did a semester-long research project in Jewish studies. So I got a lot of one-on-one guidance to get started, and I eventually ended up interviewing Jewish professionals across the general area and thinking about spirituality and how that comes into play in Jewish professions, as well as how their professional lives impacted their spirituality. And at the end, I had a 20-page paper and a lot more data about all of these different trends that were coming up and how Jewish professionals talked about God and how much they didn't agree on. And I got to think about how much there was still left to figure out in this field that I had formed my major around. And then this spring, I got to present it at Elon's Spring Undergraduate Research Forum to people who both knew me and knew what I was doing, and people who had no idea, and hear some of their questions. And that experience as a whole kind of guided me towards deciding to continue into graduate school and keep doing research. I loved studying religious studies so much that I decided to keep on doing it. So next year I am starting the Masters of Religious Studies at Duke University, just up the road in Durham, where I will keep researching, and I am a Perelman Jewish Fellow there, so I will keep doing Jewish studies, but I'm also going to look at things a little bit more comparatively. And after that point, maybe I will continue. At this point in my life, I would like to get my doctorate and teach Jewish studies and keep writing and researching forever, but we'll see.